The Galactic Council's most elite telepaths had faced countless species across thousands of star systems. They had decoded the philosophical musings of the crystalline Zephyrians, navigated the chaotic dream logic of the gaseous Ventari, and even survived the aggressive mental shields of the militant Korgath. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared them for humanity. Toriel stood in the sterile white observation room of the GSS Harmony, her arms crossed as she watched 3 Velari telepaths through reinforced glass. The tall, willowy beings with their oversized craniums and luminescent skin sat in recovery pods, their typically serene faces contorted in expressions of deep distress. Medical drones hovered around them, administering sedatives and neural stabilizers. "This is unprecedented," chirped Dr. Zelvon, the station's chief medical officer. The insectoid alien's mandibles clicked nervously. "In 300 cycles of diplomatic first contact protocols, we've never had telepaths require emergency psychological intervention." Toriel sighed, running a hand through her dark hair. "What exactly happened during the scan?" "They attempted standard telepathic contact with Ambassador Levon," Zelvon explained, consulting a holographic display. "Protocol dictates a simple surface read: current emotional state, immediate intentions, basic linguistic patterns. It should have taken 0.7 seconds. And they were in neural contact for 4.3 seconds before we had to forcibly disconnect them. All 3 are now exhibiting symptoms of acute cognitive dissonance, existential confusion, and what our xenopsychologists are calling conceptual whiplash." Toriel looked back at the suffering telepaths. One was rocking back and forth, muttering something in their melodic language. Another was staring blankly at the wall, occasionally flinching as if dodging invisible objects. The third was writing frantically on a datapad, filling screen after screen with incomprehensible symbols. "I need to speak with Levon," Toriel said firmly. She found the human ambassador in the diplomatic quarters, casually eating what appeared to be a sandwich while reading a book on his tablet. Levon looked up as she entered, his easy smile doing nothing to calm her irritation. "Toriel, did you try the synthesized pastrami? It's actually not bad for alien food replication tech. Levon, 3 Velari telepaths are having nervous breakdowns because they tried to read your mind." "What did you do?" He blinked innocently. "Me, nothing. I was just sitting there thinking." "About what?" "Well, let's see." Levon set down his sandwich and scratched his chin thoughtfully. "I was remembering that embarrassing thing I said to my crush in 7th grade, while simultaneously planning my dinner order, composing a response to my sister's email in my head, having an internal argument about whether I'd left my apartment lights on back on Earth, replaying a catchy song I'd heard that morning. The chorus was stuck in my head, worrying about my mom's health, fantasizing about what I'd do if I won the lottery, and analyzing the etymology of the word etymology. You know, normal stuff." Toriel stared at him. "Normal stuff? Yeah, was I supposed to think about something specific?" Before Toriel could respond, Dr. Zelvon's voice crackled through her communicator. "Ms. Toriel, the lead telepath, Elder Sci-fi, is requesting to speak with you." She's demanding it, actually. She says it's urgent." When Toriel arrived back at the medical bay, Elder Sci-fi was sitting upright in her pod, her large dark eyes still showing signs of trauma but now gleaming with a manic intensity. "You must understand," the elder said, her voice translated through 3 different linguistic processors because her mental state had become too unstable for direct telepathic communication. "We touched a human mind. A human mind. Yes, I apologize for any distress caused. We didn't realize..." "Distress?" Sci-fi laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane. "You speak of distress? Child, I have peered into the consciousness of a human, and I have seen the face of beautiful chaos." Toriel exchanged glances with Dr. Zelvon. "Perhaps you should rest. Why, they think in layers." Sci-fi continued, ignoring her. "Simultaneous, contradictory, impossible layers. The human Levon was experiencing 14 distinct thought processes at once. 14, and none of them were complete. He was remembering the past while planning the future, while observing the present, while imagining scenarios that will never exist, while holding conversations with himself in multiple voices, while processing sensory data, while running background calculations, while maintaining involuntary bodily functions at a conscious level, while the elder had to pause as another medical drone administered a sedative. "And the emotions," she whispered. "The emotions don't match the thoughts. He was anxious about something trivial while simultaneously content about his current situation, while harboring deep existential dread about mortality, while feeling amused by an internal joke, while experiencing nostalgia for a childhood memory. All at once. How do they function? How do they not collapse under the weight of their own consciousness? They just do, Toriel said softly. It's normal for us. Normal, Saivesh repeated, testing the word. We thought the Korgath were difficult because their minds were aggressive and linear. We thought the Ventari were challenging because their consciousness was diffuse and dreamlike. But humans are simultaneously focused and scattered. Logical and emotional, present and absent. They are quantum consciousness made flesh. Dr. Zelvan's mandibles clicked rapidly. We'll need to completely revise our first contact protocols for human integration into the Galactic Council. Over the following weeks, the incident became legendary throughout the diplomatic corps. The Velari telepaths eventually recovered, though they now approached human minds with the same caution one might reserve for approaching a black hole. They published a 700-page report detailing their experience, which immediately became required reading for all Council telepaths. A new position was created, Human Consciousness Liaison, a role that required 3 specialized translators working in concert just to convey the basic functioning of human thought to other species. Toriel was offered the position and accepted. As for Levan, he continued his ambassadorial duties, blissfully unaware that his normal, everyday human thought processes had fundamentally altered the Galactic Council's understanding of consciousness itself. When informed of this, he simply shrugged and said, "Huh, cool. Hey, do you think they have pizza in this sector?" And somewhere in the medical bay, Elder Saiva shuddered and reached for another sedative.